Hey guys, it's Jim Bounds at Co-op Motorworks and Motorhome Rehab Ranch on Patreon. Water heater. So in our series we're going to talk about, the last one was about propane tanks, right? So the first appliance I'm going to talk about has nothing to do with propane. But it is a home appliance and something that, believe me, when you don't have hot water, it doesn't bother me that much, but people feel it's real important. So water heater is important. Now this is the design water heater that's in an original GM floor plan coach. Eleganzas, Palm Beaches, all that stuff. If you have a Royale or a Coachman, or most of the outfitters, you got to remember, at that time, campers used propane water heaters. Now they had all kinds. You got to light it. It has a pilot or it has an auto igniter, that kind of thing. But most all RVs, even today, use a propane water heater. And they standardized the hole for this propane water heater, just like they did roof airs, 14 by 14 hole. So this hole in the side of your coach, if you have a propane water heater, it's on the side of the coach. It's got a panel. And they're pretty much a standardized size. So if you have one of those, it's real simple. You go buy one, you look at the size of the hole, you want to have an electronic igniter. They make them that's electric, propane, and they've got one that's got a heat strip, just like this does. So it'd be a three-way, and that's for the trans modes and all that stuff. But see, GM did not look at this thing as a camper. They looked at it as a travel vehicle. So as a travel vehicle, think of a boat. Now, boat generally speaking, doesn't use propane for water. They'll use something like this. The original was electric and heat exchange to the engine. There was no hole in the side of the coach. Now you don't put a hole in the side of a boat, you know what I mean? So this RV type water heater died because everything was going with propane, but it lives on in the marine application. Okay, there's White Seaward makes one, and Kumo, Kuuho, makes one. Theirs is called a 600. The white. And you find these, easiest thing to do. It's crazy. Go to Google and type in marine water heater. Marine water heater. Boom. First one comes up is $370 something. That's the cheapest one. The White Seaward is about 500 bucks. Okay? And it will have a stainless steel cover. It's still going to have an aluminum inside, tank. Which, by the way, a guy named Demir for decades has offered a stainless steel replacement. Now, two ways you could do it. What's going to happen to this thing? In here it's pretty simple. What's going to happen is the aluminum tank is going to corrode at the bottom. It's going to start to leak. Okay? Well, for many, many years, if you had the propensity to do it, you could take this thing out, take out the aluminum tank, and put in Demir's stainless steel tank, and Bob's your uncle. Well, he did a great job in making them available, and I believe he still is. But a 45-year-old appliance, you're just really better off to just get a new one, because about the time you'd place this, and something else would go out, right? A new one's about $375, $375 to $500 wherever you order it. I think Applied has one available about that same price. So anymore, it's not where you buy it as much as what it is you're looking for. Go on the internet and it'll just about be there on things like this. Now, specialty parts, ball joints, wheel levers, idler arms, specialty kits and things, those are the things that you look to a GMC specific dealer for, okay? Maybe not something like this, but there are a lot of other things that they can help you with. So please help them, because they're here to try to help you. I mean, they've got a narrow market, and you know, it's up to us to keep them going, so you need to do that. All right, so originally, Atwood made the EHM6, and if you have that, that's what this one is. Atwood EHM6, nice water heater, exact replacement in the past. Well, Atwood sold out to Dometic. Dometic is a holding company. Dometic is like folks that bought Airstream, Thor. They're a holding company. They gather companies together to try to make it more efficient. So when they bought Atwood, they said, well, we don't want this water heater. We've got the rights and the plates and all that. So they sold it to White Seaward. Okay? So this EHM6 still lives on in White Seaward. And then this Kumho company, I'm sure it's, you know, Chinese like everything else, no big deal. It's a second line. Anytime there's a product that somebody feels is expensive, always be a product a little less money trying to get the volume for somebody that doesn't want to spend as much. All products are that way. It depends on what you want to do, okay? The bean counters have figured out, the marketing guys have figured out what we want, and they're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to give them money for it. So that's the internet. So, water heaters. My coach, Larry, the one that had no windows and back door, has no water heater. Don't need no stinking water heater. And if you're building an extreme vehicle or something like that, you may want to look at small water heater options, like for executive washrooms and things like that. The electric and propane on-demand water heaters are kind of difficult in a motorhome, because, and it's not hard to heat 6 gallons of water. I mean, come on. It's really not hard. But if you want to get it on demand, that's fine. Don't get an electric one because it'll shut your generator down. If you get a propane dump, put a thing on the side of your coach, say, don't be here. Because when that sucker goes off, it shoots a flame out, man. Don't want to do that. You know, don't play here, kind of the sign. Hot water is a relative thing, you know. If it's a nice sunny day, set a bucket of water outside. It'll be hot pretty soon. But if we want civil, you know, in the day when our motorhome was made, the all-electric house, it had to be set up where you could turn everything on simultaneously, because that's the American way. Fatter steaks, bigger tires, you know. We got to have the Benford Model 8000. Well, maybe we do and maybe we don't, you know. Water heater could be one of those things if you're building a coach with no interior and dual-use space and doors on the back and all that. You know, kind of get creative with a water heater thing, right? Well, look, in our series talking about propane and no propane, but next thing we're going to talk about our furnace. You know, that big fire-breathing monster under the sink. Yeah, baby. Well, look, thanks for your time. I hope you figured out a little bit of something here. If anything else, I hope it was good entertainment, all right? So we'll see you next time. Thanks for being a ranch hand. Thanks for helping us. See you.